The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the ancient city of Babylon. Once resplendent towers and palaces were now shrouded in an eerie twilight, their outlines stark against the fiery hues of the sky. The air, thick with the scent of blood and dust, carried the haunting cries of the fallen. This was a tale as old as time itself, a story of ambition, betrayal, and the relentless march of progress. It was a narrative that had begun centuries ago when the great King Hammurabi had laid the foundations of this mighty empire. His successors had expanded its borders, turning Babylon into a jewel of the ancient world. But all empires, no matter how glorious, were destined to face their twilight years, and Babylon was no exception. The current king, a man of questionable lineage, clung desperately to the fading grandeur of his forefathers. His advisors, a mix of cunning serpents, waited patiently for their moment to strike. They knew the king's days were numbered, and with his demise, they would seize the throne and reshape Babylon in their own image. The king, oblivious to the treachery that simmered around him, retreated into the luxurious confines of his palace. There, amidst the gold and silver that adorned every wall, he reveled in his own greatness. He hosted lavish feasts, inviting the elite from across the known world. But even as he feasted, the conspirators made their moves. They were led by the royal advisor, a man whose charm and intellect had been the envy of many. However, beneath his polished exterior lay a heart of stone, devoid of any loyalty or compassion. He had clawed his way up the societal ladder, crushing anyone who stood in his path. And now he had set his sights on the ultimate prize, the throne of Babylon. He had gathered a following of ambitious nobles and influential priests, all of whom coveted power and were willing to shed blood to attain it. As the weeks turned into months, the conspirators grew bolder. They began to whisper in the king's ear, feeding him half-truths and fabricating lies. Their goal was to tarnish the king's reputation, to paint him as a weak and ineffective ruler. And then one fateful day, they struck. The king, weakened by their machinations and ripe for the taking, was deposed. His pleas for mercy fell on deaf ears as the conspirators, led by the royal advisor, seized control of Babylon. The once proud king was banished from the city, left to wander the vast plains with nothing but the clothes on his back and the memories of his lost kingdom. As for the royal advisor, he ascended to the throne, but not before ensuring that the king's bloodline would end with him.